So if you want to see how to achieve this beautiful gown, butterfly gown, keep watching. Thank you. Hello viewers, you're welcome to another tutorial class. So today I'll be teaching you guys how to cut the butterfly bubu that is trending now. Is that okay? So the measurement we'll be needing is this. The person's hips is 50, you divide it by 4, add 1.5 allowance, then bust 42, the same thing, add 1.5 allowance. Alright, so let's drop the measurement. So what you are going to do is this. You are going to measure the full length. See the way I've done now. With this one, you measure the full length of the fabric that you are going to use. Then you fold it. You fold it this way. Is that okay? Fold it into 2 like this. Then you cut it out. So once you've cut it out, now you now take it to your table. When you now arrange it, this is your fold. Now you are going to fold into 2 again. This way like this. Now that my folding is all right now, then the person's shoulder is 21. What I mean by shoulder is not the normal shoulder to shoulder. This one's now shoulder from the midpoint of the collarbone to somewhere here. Is that okay? From the midpoint of the collarbone to anywhere down to the hand here. Is that okay? So for this one, when I took the measurement, the person's measurement is 21. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to transfer that measurement to this place. So 21, I'm going to add 1 inch allowance. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take your 21, this 21, is that okay? Then I'm going to add 1 inch to it. So you can see it, and put the tape this way. Are you seeing? This is where the 22 inches mark is. Let me show it very well. Can you see it? So I'm going to mark the 22 here. So from that 22 now, I'm going to mark 2.5 for the slope. Then come back here. You know normal shoulder is 16 or 14, is that okay? So if you take that one, still slope from that normal shoulder 1 inch. Is that okay? Now because this is double, we are cutting the front and back the same time. So here now I'm taking the neck width to be 4 inches. Then the depth, I want to take 4 too. Then for the back, I'm taking 1.5. Alright. So we're going to join all this together now. So if you're using the armhole curve, ensure that you place it very well before you draw. Is that okay? Then slope it from this shoulder now. From this shoulder, slope it to your 2.5 inches. Can you see it? Okay, so after you have done that, we're going to move to the body now. Then the next thing now, from the shoulder, take your bust. The person's bust point is 11. Then the waist is 18. Mark it. then the hip is 26. Is that okay? So if you've marked this now, let's transfer the measurements on the areas we have marked. All right, so for the bust now, our measurement for the bust is 11.5. We're going to mark it. The waist, the bust is 12. The waist is 11.5. Mark it. Then the hip is 14. Now we're going to mark it. So what we're going to do now to form the butterfly, what we're going to do now, from the hip here, you measure 6 to 7 inches down. Then you're going to mark it. After marking it, then this same 14 that you have here, you are going to transfer it to that place. Is that okay? All right. So the next thing we are going to do now is to put the shape of the butterfly. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, so from that hip area, you are going to curve it in this way because I want to form the butterfly now. You curve it this way, then you go like this to meet the shoulder line. Then from the 14 to the 7 inches downward, you are going to take it straight to the length of the gown. Then after, once you've done that, you are done. All you have to do now is to cut out your fabric. Please, when you are cutting, make sure you cut from the back. Don't cut from the front, so that the front and the back is not the same. So the back is higher than the front. So if you cut since they are together, if you cut the front, meaning you want the front and the back to be the same depth. Is that okay? So please don't make that mistake. Always cut the back first. Once you remove the back, you can now cut any neckline you want for your front piece. All right, so let's continue our cutting. So after cutting, this is what you have. Can you see it? So you can see the butterfly shape is already out. Can you see it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the back piece, which is this one inside. I'm going to remove it. Then I'm going to set it aside. Then I'm going to come back to the front. Then the space for the front that I marked earlier, which is the 4 inches, I'm now going to trim it out. Now, for the front, I want to put a keyhole in this front area. Is that okay? All right, so what I'm going to do, and then I want to still use this fabric to give it a little edge, to give it a little color to the clothes. So what I want to do now, I want to cut from this shoulder here, like 1 inch from the neckline here. Is that okay? Down to the length. Then I'm now going to use this fabric, and where I cut this particular fabric from now, I'm going to replace it with this yellow to add beauty to the color, so that later I can add accessories to that area to make this particular attire to pop. Is take the extra fabric that's remaining, then I'm going to cut the interface for the front and for the back. So what you are going to do is you are going to fold your fabric this way, then place the front neckline on it this way. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see what I'm doing? Place it on it this way. That is how to cut interface. Is that okay? So then I'm now going to trace the neckline. Then I'm going to raise the front pattern. Then for this neckline, you can give it any shape that you like. So like this one, I'm giving it a curve shape like this. So this is what my interface looks like. Can you see it? This is for the front. Then I'm going to do the same for the back. I'm going to place the back this way. Make sure that the neckline here align with the one you want to cut. Then you're going to cut it out. Then form the shape that you desire. It can be rectangle, it can be round. It all depends on your choice. So now I'm done with the interface for both the front. Interface for both the front and the back. You can see what it looks like. So what I'm going to do next now is take the interface. You can see that I've ironed it. So you can see the mark here. So I'm just going to draw a straight line, because I want this particular cloth to have an keyhole. So I'm going to try and put the keyhole now. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm going to measure like half an inch here. Can you see it? I'll measure it round. That's where I'm going to sew. So after I've done that, I'm going to measure 1 inch, which is half on both sides. Then the length I'll be working with for the keyhole is 3.5. I will mark it. Then the midpoint is going to be, find the midpoint for 3.5. This way, you can do it this way. Then you mark it. Mark it on your straight line. I'm going to mark it this way. Then on this your center point, you are going to mark 1.5. If you are not sure of the division, just fold your tape this way. Then you squeeze it hard. By the time you bring it out, you get the midpoint. So you are going to place it this way. Then you are going to mark here. Then you mark here. Alright, so we are going to join now. Are you see what I'm doing? Okay. So after you've done that, I'm going to take the center of the front of my cloth that I want to sew. Then I'm going to match the lines to the, you can see that I've already ironed the front to get my center line. So we are going to match the lines together now. Make sure the lines match. So once the line matches, you are just going to take a pin. Then you pin it down so that it doesn't move as you are sewing. So I've pinned it down now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just run it this way. All the places I've marked. Then I'll show you what next. So I've gone ahead and sew it. You can see what it looks like in the back. Can you see it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to notch the neck, then cut out this to create the keyhole. So I've succeeded in cutting the keyhole out. So the next thing now is to top stitch the neckline. I'll just do that now. So the next thing you are going to do now, where you have this your curve, you are going to, you can see I've already weaved it. You are going to fold it this way, then you are going to sew it round neatly to the other side. So I'm going to sew it and show you what it looks like. You are going to do that for both sides, then I'll tell you what next. Don't forget that before you run it this way, you must first of all join the shoulders together, because you are running it from the front to the side to the back, so that the shoulder can align. This place here at the shoulder, it will align very well. So the next I'm going to do now, from that 7 inches, remember that we added to the hips, that is where the butterfly shape came from. So I'm going to turn it on the wrong side now. I'm going to run it this way down. I will now do the same thing on the other side. So after you are done sewing the both sides, you are just going to turn it out. So you see where the curve is, so I'm going to notch it this way. You notch it so that it doesn't drag when you turn it out. Is that okay? So after you are done joining it and you've turned it out, you are going to take it to the table, then you are going to fold it, iron it so that the center front will show. So once the center front shows now, you are going to put the person's actual measurements. You are going to put the person's actual measurements on the outside. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The actual measurement now, you are going to put it on the outside. Then from the shoulder here, you are going to measure where the person's arm hole will be. Like for this one now, I'll be using like maybe 12 inches. So from that 12 inches, anywhere the person's measurement is, from the center point, you are going to measure it down to this place. So you now sew it and enter this place where you have the curve. Do you understand? Where you have this your butterfly shape starting from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make any sense? From this point where you have this your butterfly shape coming from, you are going to sew from, after you've taken your armhole and you've taken your measurement, you are going to sew it. So I'm just going to do that on my own, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So I want to thank you for watching and stopping by. If you are new to this channel, please, you are welcome. We love having you here, and thank you for all those that have been supporting us by subscribing and sharing our videos. We are very, very grateful. Thank you. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and please hit your notification bell button so that once I upload any video, you will be able to see it. Thank you, and God bless.